Good morning, everyone. This is your morning market update. It is Friday today. The week went sailing by as weeks with Mondays off usually do. Monday, of course, was a good long working day. I'm down to just one more estate to have to do, the one on Campbell, and the storage container was just dropped there yesterday. So we'll be able to get going and get that house emptied out. Now that the storage container's there and everything starts moving to the storage container, it'll start looking like we're getting someplace, because right now it still has a whole lot of stuff at a very small space. But it's all really good stuff going to the auction house. One of the lamps sold last night from the auction. I haven't had a chance to go in yet. I'm just waking up this morning to go in and take a look and see what happened with it, how well it did. Last time I looked, it had a $58 bid, which is actually pretty good. It was probably over $100 for the lamp, brand new in the box. We'll see what all that stuff was after this video and after I have a chance to get breakfast, since I'm just getting started with the day. So some of the updates that are going on in the stock market. Yesterday was a very good day to the downside, but then we did have buying power come in all day long and continuously tick it back up. We didn't end the day up. The Dow ended up, which is normal. In a day like yesterday where everybody was fleeing the market, everybody was moving money. Money has to go someplace to go to work. And so money was moving into the large caps, into the Dow, for dividend yields and all that other stuff as well too. And for the safety of money. So global money has to land someplace. And there is no place other than the US stock market for global money. So we've seen that, and it made perfect sense yesterday. Everything was moving exactly as we expected. As more money started going into the large caps too, the 10-year note backed off of that 4.3 and closed at about 4.27, 4.26. Still above that 4.25 death cross ratio. And that was all expected. Everything yesterday that was going on all looked normal. What was interesting was, and I was going to go in, this is so funny. I was going to go in and I was going to buy Meta short, because Meta was up $6 yesterday on a very weak NASDAQ. And I was like, this can't hold up. And I was looking at it, but unfortunately the Meta short was super high priced. The 305 put was $10. So it was $1,000 for 100 shares. And I looked at it and I thought, that's an awfully expensive put already. And so I didn't buy it before getting started with my day. I had plenty of other stuff to have to do, and I was already up almost 10% in my account yesterday. So I looked at it and said, do I want to take this risk in a market that could turn around? And Meta was, where the money was flowing to, obviously. And so I decided not to. But then, like a half an hour or 45 minutes later, all of a sudden, whatever I was doing, I forget exactly, but all of a sudden Meta was down $6. And I was like, oh, shit. It was like, in seconds, it was down $6. And I was like, that's what's going on. They're trading Meta. It was a short squeeze specific in Meta, and I missed that entirely. But that's okay, because like I said, I was already up almost 10% in my account yesterday. So as we get into today, the market's going to be weak again today. The market is in the process of rolling over. We are not going higher from here for the rest of the year, in my view. Now, that can change, of course, next month once we get more data sets. But right now, the data sets are getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. They're not going straight down. Yesterday was one of those tough days because we did basically fall off the cliff. And that wasn't a good thing, because we went down so fast. And that's not a normal market where we can make a whole heck of a lot of money. So we needed to be very cautious with that. That's why, as my account was going up, I was selling my puts. I just wasn't trusting in how the market was moving. It was moving too fast to the downside. The money was piling up into the account faster. The return was piling up in the account faster. And so it was like, no, I got other things to do today. And then we got to a point where we were just completely flat. There was absolutely nothing going on, no volume, no nothing. Just a complete, utter pause in everything because there's no volume in the market right now. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's buying, nobody's selling, nobody's doing anything. There was just no volume whatsoever. And so for me, for yesterday, it was like, okay, I've got my almost 10%. That's a nice return. Thank you, spreadsheet. Let me get out of here and go out and do some other stuff. So I went out to Tilbury, did some stuff out in Tilbury. We've got a real estate listing coming up in Tilbury at some point in time, and then did some life insurance business out in Tilbury. Yes, I still do the life insurance business. I was doing a policy delivery out there. And then worked on my business a little bit more. There's going to be some changes in my life insurance supplier. In my business, I'm trying to find one supplier to be able to be that, full, healthy person place to go. And I had been using Equitable Life, but I'm having a hard time with Equitable Life. Business positions there have changed. And I'm not getting the same kinds of results out of cases that I turn into them. And keep in mind, I'm just a small little 2-bit player here. Maybe even just a 1-bit player. I'm not that big of a player at all. And I don't know structurally what's going on at Equitable. But in my view, it's going blub, 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 gurgle, 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 all gone. Equitable's not going out of business. No, I'm just talking about the customer service side of Equitable is getting crushed by other players. The policy I delivered yesterday was a Beneva policy, which is a combination of La Capitale and SSQ. They came together and created Beneva to go nationwide. And the customer service at Beneva, it's just been phenomenal. The underwriting process at Beneva has been phenomenal. And so I'm changing around. I just wrote a policy for Equitable, or a contract for Equitable, and I'm going to write those same applications with Beneva and get those submitted as well too. So I got a little bit of work to have to do here in the office today. I do have an appraisal I'm finishing up as well too. So all of that stuff will be good here in the morning. And then I want to get over to Campbell to start loading up that container before going to dinner with my mother-in-law at 5:30 this evening. So all of it's all good. I just wanted to point out to you, business continues to keep moving strongly in the city of Windsor. Yes, the stock market is selling off. It's had a phenomenal run this year, and we're giving some of those phenomenal runs back. It's a normal thing, nothing to worry about. And at a moment's breath, the market can turn back long, and we'll see that in the spreadsheet as well too. And then you just move back to a long positioning. For today, the only thing that I'm seeing in the spreadsheet that I run, because I run like 8, 10 companies. It's all I can do. I don't have all the time in the world. I'm a little bit concerned about where tech is now. I believe that there's some short opportunity back again in CAT as a trade. I believe that there's short opportunity in Meta. Meta is up in the early morning hours today and up to 300, and I believe that there is a short play there in Meta, but it is a trade. So you have to be very, very cautious because Meta moves very, very, very fast. And it can be just as easily moving to the upside as it can be moving to the downside from the data sets at this point. It is very early. So what happens when we turn red in the spreadsheet is that the market doesn't believe that for a little bit of time because people come in with new money. Oh, hey, this stock's on sale. Let me go in there and buy that one. I've been wanting to add some more of that to my portfolio. And so we're still in the early innings of that. And so the market can turn back long again, like we had the first 2 weeks of this month, or first 2 weeks of August, first 2 weeks of September. Yeah, first 2 weeks of September. No, because we're into, anyway, the last market upside. Sorry, my ADHD brain. So we can move positive. We can move deathly positive very, very quickly. Interest rates are running higher. Oil is closing in on $88 a barrel. It is going to $100 a barrel. Yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever it was now, Joe Biden took 40% of the Alaska range, where the government of the United States of America had been working very hard to be able to say yes to oil drilling, safe oil drilling. And they did say yes to safe oil drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge Oil Reserve. But then Joe Biden this week, because he's running for re-election and he needs to be a green candidate in order for anybody to be able to vote for him, that's why he's crushing the auto industry, and that's why he's crushing the oil industry. He took 40%. It's a massive piece of land. 40% of the Arctic strategic oil area off drilling. Can't drill there any longer. Can't get to the oil that's there. Massive sums of oil in Alaska. Can't get to it any longer. Got to let the Saudi Arabians do all the oil on the globe. We've got to let them get rich. Heaven forbid an American get rich. And as you know, the president is going out to Riyadh later on this month and is going to be meeting with MBS out there as well too. And that's part of the reason for taking Alaska off the grid. And the Alaskans, both the Democrats and the Republicans in Alaska, are furious with the president because they've been working so hard together for so long to safely drill for oil up there. And all of a sudden then the president comes in and says, no, can't do it. Sorry about your luck. See you later. Bye. And they are pissed off up there because they realize that there's nothing else up there, that there's no jobs for any Alaskan, because once the president takes oil drilling away, then what do you do for a living? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing else to do. So the same thing held true with when Bill Clinton was president, and he took the opportunity for 2 males or 2 females to be able to marry by signing the Defense of Marriage Act, stating that a marriage was going to be between 1 man and 1 woman in the United States. A lot of people were very upset with that. It's like, how does the president, how does the dictator of the United States of America have the power to be able to take the freedom of people away? And that's exactly what the Alaskans are feeling today too, as they wake up and say, geez, I'm going to have to exercise my freedom, and I'm going to have to move from Alaska to someplace else to find work. But then they're going to be competing against all of the other illegal aliens to try to find the same job. And there's 44 million Americans that don't have jobs, that can't find work. Yet we're constantly barraged with data sets that say that everybody's working, but there's no jobs out there. Oh, but there's all these jobs posted. Well, yeah, there's a difference between posting a job and actually having a job to fill. And that's what's going on. So it's all just very, very interesting information for today at the very, very least. Sorry to get into a little bit of this political stuff. It's just, none of it makes any sense. Just none of it makes any sense. And that's what's catching up in the market. People are starting to wake up and they're starting to say, wait a second, none of this makes any sense. The cost of groceries is soared. The cost of fuel is soaring. All of this has to slow down the economy at some point in time. The crack spreads on diesel fuel are soaring. The cost of moving a diesel-powered train, the cost of moving a diesel-powered truck is soared. And that's just a matter of time before that all gets filtered in. I mean, here in Canada, you take a small Matchbox car, a Hot Wheels car, put it in a package. Do you realize how much it costs to ship that thing? It's over $22 now to ship a Matchbox car in Canada because of the fuel surcharges. And the fuel surcharges are going up because the cost of oil is going soaring so that the Saudi Arabians can get richer. So, and the Russians as well too. The sanctions against Russia are not working. So those are the kinds of things that I pay attention to, that I sit there and say, oh my God, why in the heck, why do we have these policies? Because they're not working. They're not working for Americans, they're working for Russians, and they're working for Saudi Arabians. Why are we penalizing the Americans? I just don't understand. That's the part I don't understand about this administration. And what are we going to do when Boeing can't produce an aircraft, because Boeing is having a very hard time producing aircraft? What are we going to do when the auto industry can't produce a car any longer, or a pickup truck any longer? What's our GDP going to be then, when our debt is suddenly $60 trillion, and we're not producing any cars here any longer, and we're not producing any aircraft any longer? How in the heck are we going to pay our debt? Our GDP is going to be decreasing rather than increasing. And that becomes a massive problem too. I sit there and look at the bigger picture and the smaller picture and say short, short, short. The data sets are kind of a little bit mixed today. This move short could get really bad as we go into 2024. We'll have to see. Luckily, 2024 is a national election day. Whoever comes out of the woodwork to be able to win the election. Now understand that it probably will not be Donald Trump, and it probably will not be Joe Biden. There will probably be two different people on the ballot by the time we get to 2024. And of course, COVID will be back then too. Everybody will be masked up. Everybody will be running around getting shots, getting pokes, and stand 7 feet away from each other so that we can go back to vote by mail and they can control the election again. So it's just very, very interesting. And we have to look at the presidency of and the leadership of Barack Obama back when he was president for 8 years. I don't know if anybody's ever asked themselves, how did a community organizer who never ran anything, how did he come from nothingness to become president of the United States and get elected 8 years in a row? Two terms. How much manipulation was there in those elections? Was there manipulation in those elections? That's another question that I have in my ADHD brain as well too. How did we get Hillary and Obama, both of them understudied under Saul Alinsky, and how did they get to power? And then, all right, we're still paying for that today because they brought people to Washington, D.C. As my mom says, it's not about the people that we vote for president, it's about the people they bring to Washington, D.C. with them that stay. That's the problem. And so that's what we're dealing with today. And the Joe Biden administration is all the people that under 8 years of Obama were brought to Washington, D.C., who now have power. So anyway, those are those things. Go out and do your day. Look for Meta to move short. Look for CAT to move short. I don't know any other stocks because I only watch a few of them. There's some different things in my business that I'm getting ready to launch. Some different ideas. I have some closings coming up, and so money's piling up in the corner here, which will be reinvested in a different way back into my business, and some different things that are going to be coming for 2024. Kind of a clubhouse kind of thing is what I'm viewing and thinking about, is a clubhouse type of thing. And a real estate firm that's focused down on full service senior citizen assistance. There's some different things that I'm working on as I continue to keep growing out my business enterprise as well too. So exciting times going on as real estate deals are getting done and my money starts piling up in the corner. I'm not carrying any debt whatsoever any longer. I used to have a little bit of credit card debt in the business as kind of thinking, oh, this is a good thing. But as interest rates are ticking up, I just have been working my butt off with all of the other resources, with the insurance business, with the appraisals business, and with the cleanout business, and have taken care of that debt now. So all money now just flows right to the bottom line of the business that gets created going forward. So just puts the business in a completely different spot to be able to do the things that it needs to do as we head into 2024. Makes it very, very strong. It's in a very strong position. And there's going to be some new things coming as well too, some different visions that I have that I'm working on. Depending upon what business deals I can strike, I'm working on a couple of different things. So that's where we're at for today. Go out and enjoy your day. Look for the market to continue to keep moving short. This is Friday, so what we have to be cautious of is we have to be cautious of some late day buying coming into the end of the day. If we see late day buying coming in, it was a big volume spike yesterday at the end of the day. If we see that again and that is buying side, that's not necessarily good or really good for the upside market. But if we see a lot of volume coming in and sell side pressure going into the close, that's definitely not good for next week, but everything can reset because people have a very short attention span. Go out and enjoy the day and go kill it. See you later. Bye.